rather not.
Questions?
Yeah, opening
All right,
statement
we're
is,
done.
opening statement is that we played like I look. Bad.
Is that why you're drinking Sprite?
No, I drink it all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I stopped Coke in 1997, but Sprite's a Coke product.
I can think of
Yeah, just put it in the Coke cup.
What was the flight back like after?
That's an unusual question. I didn't sleep. Studied the stats, read an old Western, studied the stats, read an old Western, cut the light off, cut the light on, studied the stats, read an old Western. So I got about 150 pages read on the book. It was ridiculous. Didn't play very well in any phase of the game, and I didn't even want to look at it. I was going to try to go to sleep. I didn't want to look at it and have two nightmares, one in my brain and one in front of my eyes, so I didn't watch it at that point. But we graded it, and it's just as bad on tape as it was in person.
What did you read?
Pardon?
What were you reading?
An old Western. Cotton Smith, I think, was the author of this one, but I read all the time.
You've been around this game a long, long time. How do you massage confidence back into a basketball team?
Yeah, that's hard, because first I'm going to get on their butts. I mean, you know, we're not going to just blow it off. We get a chance to watch it on tape here at 3:15, and then we'll put it behind us. But I do want them to see it, and then we'll move on to try to get ready for Michigan. And it's a fine line, but I've always said I want them to be confident, and I don't think they'll lose confidence watching because we stunk it up so bad. I mean, you miss layups, but our effort and our intensity level was not there either, so that's the thing I'll get on about.
Was that something that they went into the game not having, or was it a result?
I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, you know, it's like we played at Georgia Tech last year. I thought it was as bad a team as bad as any team I'd ever had play. And we set some records this one, so, you know, we've been playing basketball a long time around here. Jiminy Christmas. I mean, we missed dead layups. We missed 4 layups with there's nobody challenging the shot.
With some key veterans that have played in national championship games, do you put some responsibility on them for allowing that to happen? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I put a lot of it on. You know, and let's say this. I mean, I've had teams play poorly before. You know, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I thought we had the best team in the country in 2012. We played at Duke the last game, played great, and I thought we'd play on Monday night. And then John got hurt and Kendall got hurt, and we didn't even make it. But that team lost at Florida State by, anybody got it? 33. I wrote the number 33 up on the locker on our dry erase board. It's not a chalkboard anymore, dry erase board, and left it there the entire season. And that was really a good team. And if those two guys don't get hurt, I thought we'd play the last Monday night. I didn't say we'd win it, but I thought we were good enough to play the last Monday night. And then last year, like I said, Georgia Tech, I mean, they dominated the entire game, and we ended up all right.
You mentioned records. Do you get surprised when there's a record broke around here?
Yeah, but God almighty, guys, 1 for 18, you make 1 for 18 with your eyes closed sometimes. Didn't they have a fan they put a blindfold on, and he made one in the game while we were out there?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, we made one, and it was the last shot of the first half. It was from downtown Portland. So, no, it was, but it wasn't just a shooting. I mean, there was something, but that old thing, if I'd known the answer to it, I'd have made sure and fixed it before we did it. But it's 18, 19, 20. I had one of my uncles said, "You're crazy. You're putting your life in what 15, 16, 17-year-olds do." I was a high school coach. And later on, we just changed it to 18, 19, 20, 21. So some of you guys, when your children get to be that old, they tell me, you know, you'll understand what I'm talking about a lot more.
What'd you like about the first 3
Nothing
games?
about that game. I'm glad you said the other game.
What about the first 3 games, and does what happened Sunday overshadow what you
No.
did in those first 3?
No, I mean, it is in my mind right now because it's the most recent, you know, but it was a good trip. It was one day too long. Should have come home a day earlier. At Stanford, first true road game, we came out with some intensity, and our attention to detail was good. We were confident. Next game against Portland, it was a workmanlike effort. Next one against Arkansas was really a good game for us. We were challenged in a much different way than we'd been challenged all year. We handled that. So the whole trip is we got different looks, different things that we were faced with, and we did some good things. And I liked the Arkansas game because we were challenged twice by them, but I mean, they're pretty good. They turned around and won the next game by 20 or 30 or whatever it was too. But so we faced some adversity and we handled it, and I think we got a lot more out of that than we lost in this one game, but it's the most recent game, and that's the reason it sticks out more. You guys have heard me say, you win a national championship and you don't get a chance to celebrate it. You get to think about, I got to get out on the road recruiting. But if you lose a game, it sticks with you forever. And so I won't like the question about the confidence. I've got to show them the things that they did wrong, and then I'm going to say, hey, I've had teams play poorly in the past. But that one was an unusual one. I mean, gracious.
Do you have concerns over what like long athletic big men can do to this team, like from opposition in terms of defense and offense?
Well, let's see. Arkansas, they were pretty athletic. You know, we did okay. Stanford had a guy who was second team All Pac-12. He's not long, but I mean he was pretty good. There's not a lot of teams that's going to throw people at you like Michigan State did. I mean, make out a list. It's not very big, but what you said right there is what I've been worried about every day that I've ever coached, because it's the reason I've tried to have big guys, because I think big guys do bother you, and if they're big and athletic and move their feet, that bothers everybody. But that bothered Tyler Hansbrough, but he still was a pretty good player. And we bothered people when we had Tyler Zeller, John Henson. So those are special teams. I mean, what Duke has over there right now is probably the biggest team that I've ever coached against, and they're pretty gifted too. But the good thing is we get to play.
We got all the head-to-head history in the world to go on with Izzo, but with Beeline, not nearly as much. How much have you guys crossed paths?
Well, you know, in the record stuff, I never look at that because I can give you some stats that are just ridiculous if anybody wants to pick it out. But Tom's a great, great friend. We spend time together. We've been very lucky against them, played really well against them in some major stages, and it had nothing to do with the game. John Beeline is a guy that I've had a great deal of respect for. I've never coached against one of his teams, and yet we talk all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, we talk. And a couple of years ago, I gave him a shooting drill. He gave me one, and we competed through our players entire season. I'd call it, my guy did this, my guy did that. And I did the same thing the last couple of years with Lon Kruger. And one of the ones that we're competing with Lon's guys was a drill that I got from John. You got to understand, he recruits shooters, plays them, gets them good shots where they're comfortable, gives them confidence, guards you, changes defense, plays man-to-man, plays a 1-3-1. I've tried to copy some of the 1-3-1 that I've seen that he's had. Call me July 4th, summer before last, because they were getting ready to change to the Jordan brand and wanted to make sure it was the right deal. So we talk a lot. You know, and again, when I say a lot, I'm not on the phone with coaches and, you know, every other day say, what'd you have for lunch today? You know, that's not me, but probably talk to Lon Kruger and Tubby more because they play golf, you know, but no, John's a guy I have a great deal of respect for.
Is that the read and react stuff that they do in the two guard? Is it a tough prep when there's a quick turnaround for if you've not already seen it?
You know, it's basketball. You know, I mean, Cal talked about dribble, drive, and pitch. I sold him a book, so, you know, it's a good deal. Helped him sell his book, but that's basketball is what it is. But I've copied, watched John's 1-3-1 a great deal, and we had some good competition a couple of years ago. I guess it's even more than that, because one of the shooting drills, his guys were making 75, 76, 77. My guys were making 58, 59, and 60. And I walked in the locker room and overheard them complain about, well, they must use two balls, or they got two guys rebounding, and I ripped their rear ends. and it was Dexter and Marcus and Reggie, and I ripped them. And the next day Marcus makes 70, you know, so we got it up there pretty close. But that one team he had was Stauskas. They had like 3 guys making more than 75. But we got him up there. I think we had, I think Marcus made 77 one time.
Ken Pomeroy wrote a thing a while back that you shouldn't evaluate a team's three-point defense by the opponent's percentage. How do you look at that? Do you see that as the percentage or the amount of threes that the other team's getting?
A little bit of both. I look at their percentage and how many they take, and then I want it to be not a very good percentage, but that's who we are. I mean, we got bigger guys, and we try to control the paint area more. And you know, any of the stats, I believe in the analytics. I don't go wacko over them, but you know, we've been one of the worst teams in the country the last 2 years defending the 3. Is that right? All those damn teams that like to do what we did. Okay, so that doesn't get me, but I think that there's more than 3 or 4 ways, and I think that's probably what he's talking about, that you evaluate the 3-point shot and how effective it is to you. Because still, at the end of the day, you've got to coach what you believe in, and I'd much rather have the team not shoot a good percentage against us. But if they shoot 5 and make 4, you know, we're all right. But if they shoot 30 and make 15 or 18, you know, that's when you're in trouble. But there's different ways that you can read that stuff, and so that's the reason I don't get over it. I really don't. I look at it, and it's interesting, and then I move on. Because you think about it, it's what I think is the most important thing in the game is rebounding. The second thing I think is getting shots so you don't turn it over, and then the third thing is getting to the free throw line. And if getting to the free throw line is that important to me, I don't want to run out and foul a 3-point shot. But if they're shooting 33s, my guys are in the game at the end of the game. Because I mean, you haven't, because you haven't been here, but some of the older guys have. I mean, we won a national championship in 05 because Sean May fouled out Illinois' team, and in 09 because Tyler fouled out everybody. And if we're shooting 3-point shots all the time, they don't foul very many people. And so for us, even the Arkansas game, it was extremely important for us to attack the basket, to get the freshman Gafford, yeah, to get him out of the game. You know, you don't get guys to foul you too much on threes.
Coach, Milan's tempo is similar to Tony's up at Virginia. Just curious, running at the pace you run at, what's the biggest challenge in playing a team that slows it down?
You know, it's strange because I don't think of them playing that slow. You know, I mean, they're averaging 78 a game, and Southern Miss, they only scored 61, VCU 68, but they guard you. You know, so I don't, they've just got really good shooters, and they want to wait until they get the really good shot. And it's the same way. I don't look at Tony slowing it down. He's just got a way that he plays. So, yeah, we'd like a faster tempo, no question. But you've been here long enough. You've heard me say I'd rather win in the 80s or 90s, but to be a good team, you got to win also some games in the 50s and 60s. You have to be tough enough, patient enough on defense, because you may have to guard for 30 seconds more than you do against a lot of teams. But I don't think they control the tempo as much as they control the quality of the shot that they shoot. And I think that's what I would love to do, but I just love to do it as fast as you possibly can. But I still want to get the best shot you can get.
Coach, how important is it for you to see top-tier teams at this point in the year? Do you like to see your team tested?
Well, if you go back and look, we have been every year. Maybe give you something to do you don't have enough to do. Never seen anybody that spends as much time on statistics and stuff as Steve does. But I think the last 3 years we were 6-1-8 or 6-1-2, 6th most difficult schedule in the country, the most difficult schedule in the country, the 8th most difficult schedule in the country. I think that's been pretty standard. So we always play that kind of schedule, and you get part of it from the ACC. But I'll always say that our non-conference schedule is really good as well. But I do believe that you learn more about your team. I don't think you play any game that you don't learn something, but I think you learn more more competitive the better the other team is.
Given what happened
I
Sunday.
think I'm close on that. 8-1-2, 6-1-2 the last 3 years.
Given what happened Sunday, do you wanna get the team back on the court and play a game, or would you rather have a couple of days, maybe kind of work?
I'd rather have some time. I mean, you guys are talking about Michigan tape. I haven't seen them play. I mean, Jesus Christ. So you guys got more information than I've got. Now, Brad Frederick's seen them play a lot. But I've done this forever. The day before the game is when I watch the tape on the other team. And that's even hard because, I mean, guys, we got back at 6:30 a.m. yesterday morning. And so, to be honest with you, I came in yesterday, I worked, I did my radio show last night, I went home, checked some scores, and I went to bed. Because the morning before I got in at, as I said, we got here at the Smith Center at 6:30. I went to bed at 7:15, got up at 9 o'clock because I couldn't sleep. And so, went and got a haircut. Did some other things, but I mean, that's the reason you're saying how slow they play. I don't know how the crap they play. I watch them tonight, but that's the way I've done every year. But I do know John's tendencies. But I'd rather have some more time. But as far as preparation for our team, it's not going to be any different, except that when you have the off day, and now it's like playing Monday and Wednesday. I'm not going to forget what we did on the game. So we, again, as I said, 3:15, we'll show them some clips of Michigan State, and then we say, okay, now let's move on.
Take a couple more.
Coach, Seventh Woods was seen with a walking boot. What's his status in terms of the injuries?
Was he in a walking boot?
Yes.
Okay, I have no idea. Maybe it's more comfortable than his shoes. No, he's had a plantar fasciitis problem, which I've had, which is not comfortable, but he's been fighting through it. That's what it is. I didn't know he was in a boot, though, but after the game, I didn't look at him.
Twitter told me that, so I'm not sure if it's real
Is
or
it
not.
tweet or twit?
Twitter.
Some twit tweeted.
Some twit tweeted it, yeah. Curse.
It's degenerated, so anybody else?
Roy,
Go ahead.
when you've been on the recruiting trail here recently, do you notice a lot more kids that have their own like personal trainers that they work with in terms of basketball, not necessarily
Yeah.
conditioning?
I think you see it more every year. I've seen it a lot the last 15 years, really. About the time when I came back here is when it got even more and more prominent. And it's a weird deal. I mean, I got a guy in my office that's the third in NBA career 3-point shooting percentage. That'd be the guy I'd go talk to instead of some guy off the street.
He's up to second now.
Is he good?
Steph missed a few.
Missed a few. All right, who's first?
Kurt.
Yeah, he ain't gonna miss any then. So Hubert's stuck at second. So but I'm gonna start using that. So he's second. I see. I've been bragging on him. Now he's moved up a spot.
Art, you had one.
Yeah, Roy, I apologize
No.
when someone's asked this question before I got here, but when you criticize when the players don't play well, you have the statistics to show it now, when you say that you coached a bad game, can you explain a little bit more? What could you have done better, or what did you do wrong during that game?
During the game, I don't know that I would say that it was anything, but some way, somehow, we weren't ready to play. We talk about it, we emphasize the intensity, the physical play, how hard it's going to be, how much you're going to get hit when they set the screens, how big they are, how imposing they are. And I didn't get that message across, evidently, because we did not have the intensity level that we needed. And then the other thing is crazy is that I really thought it was one of the few times that my teams really haven't come back. I mean, we've been down before and at least made it, had some more intensity. And so I was really mad at myself that our players didn't have the intensity that I needed, or that we needed. Sean May said something about it's like an NBA trip when you go out for 11 or 12 days, you're ready to get home. And this was unusually long, and that's my fault. If I had it to do over again, I wouldn't make an 11-day trip. We'd do Stanford at some other time, but I would not be gone that long. I mean, the guys were, even I try to draw, I just deal with them straightforward. I said, guys, I know everybody's ready to go home. Yeah. I said, but let's go home with a W. Let's play our butts off. And that's what I was mad at myself about, is I didn't get them ready to do that.
Even though you kept telling them that over and over again during the game?
Yep. Didn't work.
Doesn't happen.
Sometimes I've got a saying, I won't say here that I stole from another player, but sometimes the stuff just doesn't work. But I was mad. And then the other thing is, Coach Smith used to not say hardly anything to them after a game, after a loss. And I ripped them because I didn't like the intensity level and attention and doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, we called a play one time. I called it and they look at me and nod, but they don't get everybody on the court. So we got 3 guys running one play and 2 guys didn't know we were running the play. And so I get on them all the time about the communication, but I hadn't gotten them on them enough because we didn't do it. But and so coach used to just not say anything, so I ripped them and I wanted to accept blame too because it was me. I wasn't trying to be humble or any of that BS. I'm past all that, but I really was mad at myself the way the game had gotten going and we didn't have the intensity level that it did.